Today on Prodigy Bowlers Tour, 4 young bowlers have already secured their spot in today's Stepladder finals, and one of these 3 kids will join them in the number 5 position. They qualified 5, 6, and 7 in the qualifying round, and will have to survive a pressure-packed 9th and 10th frame roll-off to advance to the championship round Stepladder. Qualifying 5th is Allison McGowan. In the 6th position is Anthony Smiga, and the number 7 qualifier was Christian Manel. Allison, being the highest qualifier, had the first choice in the order, and she elected to go last. Anthony chose to lead off, and that put Christian second. They'll all 3 start on the same lane, and that option went to our higher finisher, Allison, and she chose to have everyone start on the left lane and end on the right. So, without further ado, let's get this roll-off started so we can know who's going to take the 5th spot in the Stepladder today. Anthony leading off on the left lane. A high hit, a little unfortunate pin action too as he knocks out the 6 and leaves the baby split, the 310. Got to fit the ball right between them. And he does it beautifully. And a spare to start for Anthony. Now all 3 players will bowl their first frame, equivalent to a 9th frame, on the left lane, and then they'll all bowl their closing frame on the right lane. Now Christian. Doesn't give it enough room. Cuts through the nose, leaves the 6-9. That could have been most anything. He'll go cross lane at it. This is one of those rare occurrences that if you hook it a little bit, you're actually better off. Oh, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Chopping the 6 off the 9. And Christian being a bit facetious with his reaction. He says he loves it, but I promise you, he does not love it. That's an open frame. And now Allison. She was the highest qualifier and had the choice of what order to bowl in. She wanted to go last. She pulls it. Another one through the nose. And she leaves the 3-6. Just one of these players will advance to take the 5th spot in the Stepladder. There's a spare for Allison. So now they'll move over to lane 40 and bowl what amounts to a 10th frame. Oh, a high hit, but they all go down somehow. Let's watch this one again. Anthony puts it right through the nose, and somehow they collapse, and he's pretty happy about that one. He should be. Now he will go ahead and bowl the extra shots that you would get in a 10th frame on the same lane. Wide with that one. So with a conversion, he can shoot 40. And if he knocks down this 2-pin, as he's done now, that score of 40 knocks Christian out. The best Christian can do is 39. We'll go ahead and let him bowl anyway, so he gets his money's worth, at least. But he cannot advance. That's how devastating one open frame can be. Two more of those and he'll shoot 39. It won't be enough. He still hasn't got the ball to finish on the right side of the head pin yet. The last time we saw him 1 week ago, the ball crossed over, way over, and he plucked 3 off the left side of the rack. And I don't know why he's taking a re-rack here. He's mathematically eliminated already. I know he's not the best in the world at math, but he should know that he doesn't have a chance to advance. And now we wait for this 180 stop to cycle. There it goes. High again. So with a conversion, he'll finish with 29. And that's not usually going to get you very far when you're in a 9th and 10th frame style roll-off. $29 it is for Christian. So now all the pressure falls to Allison.
Strike spare and you're in a roll-off.
She must strike on this first ball or Anthony wins the roll-off. She needs a double to advance. Strike spare and she and Anthony will tie. But she must strike on this ball. And she goes a little high, but trips the 4. And that's really all you can ask for there. So now it comes down to this. If Allison can throw another strike here on her next ball, and then get one more pin on the last ball, she will be the winner of the wild card roll-off. If she doesn't strike here, she must spare to get into a sudden death roll-off. Oh, a high hit, and she leaves the same split that Anthony left and made in his first frame of this wild card round, the 310. Here's how you make it. Put the ball on the right side of the 3, let it deflect over into the 10. She'll go cross lane at it. Allison must make it to get to sudden death. But no, she gets too much 3-pin. Anthony will be the wild card in our stepladder today. Celebrating junior bowling, elevating junior bowlers. This is Prodigy Bowlers Tour. This is Coach Randy, live on tape from Bolero Roswell in Roswell, Georgia, where you just saw Anthony Smiga survive the wild card roll-off to seize the 5th spot in our stepladder finals. Now let's meet our other 4 finalists. Qualifying in the 4th position is Nick Dissinger. Nick, the reigning titleist from the Prodigy Tournament of Champions last June. He'll meet Anthony Smiga in the first match. The winner will go on to face our number 3 qualifier, Tristan Davis, one of the steadiest performers the past couple of seasons on Prodigy Bowlers Tour. The winner of that match will meet our number 2 qualifier, Brandon Caraviti. Brandon joined our program a year ago, and over the summer, he practiced a lot and came out blazing hot in his first appearance in a Prodigy event this season. The winner of that match will bowl for the championship today against our tournament leader, Hunter Moffitt. Hunter may be the youngest player in our field today, but he owns the highest game bowled in the qualifier. And that's our field today on Prodigy Bowlers Tour. In Game 1 of the qualifier, Allison seized the early lead with a solid 194 and had Brandon, Tristan, and Nick all within 7 pins of her. Hunter and Christian were tied for the final spot. But in Game 2 of the qualifier, Hunter put his foot down and the pedal to the metal, rolling a stellar 239 game to leapfrog past everyone in the field to take the lead. Allison fell back into the wild card round, where you saw her just miss out getting into a sudden death roll-off with Anthony to sneak into the 5th position. But here we are with our final 5 ready to go. And as the name of the show today might have clued you in, we're bowling today on the Kegel oil pattern known as Dead Man's Curve, a 43-foot pattern with a 1 to 2.89 ratio and an overall volume of 24.48 milliliters of oil. About a normal volume, but spread over a somewhat longer oil pattern. What reverse oil there is closer to the front of the lane, so despite this being one of the longer oil patterns, it probably will play a little shorter than it is. I look for players to get plenty of ball motion today. Now it's time to get match 1 underway, as Anthony Smiga has earned his way to face our 4 seed, Nick Dissinger. Nick, being the higher qualifier, had the choice of starting lanes, and as they so often do, Nick has opted to finish first, so Anthony will start the match. Crowding the head pin slightly, that was a pretty good hit, but what we call the fast 8, where the 2-pin flies up and around the 4-7. And he makes short work of it, so a spare to begin for Anthony. The survivor of our wild card round. I look to do that more and more this year, give all the kids a chance to survive a wild card round to grab the final spot in the step ladder. That familiar style that we watched all year last year on Prodigy Bowlers Tour. Nick, two-hander, but smooth as silk. Went high that time, leaves the 3-6-10. He'll go cross lane at it. He has perfected this straight ball. And that's well done. So both players off and running with spares in the first frame. These two among the kids who came over to our program here at Bolero Roswell from AMF Woodstock a couple of years ago. They've been bowling together since they were a lot younger. Well, that one was wide right all the way. And now he's left the 1-2-4. The way you make the 1-2-4, just throw your strike ball over your strike target. Just move your feet about 4 or 5 boards to the right. Look at this. He goes with that straight ball from the left side of the lane. That's not the way I would recommend it. A straight ball from the left side of the lane opens up many more chop possibilities, but he converted it. And Anthony just smothers them, and a solid strike in the second. This kid has worked on his game. He practices all the time and has gotten a lot better. That one, though, was in the weeds. He's a little perplexed. Like, where did that come from? A 4 count. Well, just throw this one like you meant to throw the first one. Well, he gets away with a Brooklyn hit for a spare. So that was a little dicey, that frame, but a spare nonetheless. He didn't lose any count on the first ball because he was on a strike. All right, Nick trailing by 3. Ooh, man, that was a good shot. Just a little high. Leaves the 4-pin. But he is clearly in the ballpark. See if he goes with that straight ball at the 4-pin. Yep. And he covers it. Well, say hello to Josh, the lane guy here, one of them, at Bolero Roswell. I think he walks out just to get a little screen time. What do you think? That's the Nick we came to know and love last year on Prodigy. He won just about every other week that he bowled on Prodigy Bowlers Tour last year. And was the top seed at the Prodigy TOC and won it. Another wide one by Anthony. And I think he's just getting his hips a little too open at the top of his swing. Never quite squaring them back up. But he leads by 1. Goes with a urethane ball this time on the left lane, and you saw him peeking around to see if that 3-pin had a sleeper back behind, and it does. The 3-6-9, you've got to hit full enough on the 3 to carry out the 9, but not so full that you chop it off the 6. And that is perfectly done right there. If Anthony has improved anywhere in his game, more than anywhere else, I'd say it's in his spare shooting. And so far, that is paying dividends. Both players clean through 4.5 frames. Nick through the nose. Here's that spare that Tristan chopped in the wild card round. Nick probably will go straight at it. And coming from the left side with a straight ball, that opens up all kinds of chop possibilities here. But he gets it. And just 2 pins separate these two. Takes a little practice swing, trying to visualize the shot before he throws it. Hits light, shakes him up. Not sure how to read that gesture. It's as if he wasn't so sure about that one. As we see his footwork on that shot, that was a good ball. I don't know what he didn't like about it. Anthony just a fraction high. But he leaves a very easy spare, the 4-pin. Anthony will throw his normal hook ball at this. And he covers it easily. Different philosophies about left side spares for right-handers. Some like to go straight at everything. Others like to hook at the left side, straight at the right side. Anthony a little uncertain. He's going back and forth between different balls on that left lane, and I don't think he's very comfortable right now. He covers the 6-10 and remains clean. Let's compare these two side by side. Two two-handers, but some real differences in their games. Both very powerful. But watch this. At the top, Nick with his elbow in tight. Anthony with his elbow away. Same thing true at the release point. If I was going to change anything about Anthony's game, it would be to get that elbow in tight, both in the backswing and in the through swing. Oh, Nick turned away. He hated that one as soon as it left his hand, and you can see why. He was inside of his target, and he has paid the maximum penalty, the 4-6. Well, this is about a 1 in 1,000 shot. Just take one and go quietly. But with that mistake, Nick will hand the lead to Anthony, and now he'll try to regroup as the match is starting to grow late. You hate to make a mistake in the last 3 or 4 frames. But he bounces back with a solid strike in the 8th. Watch this one. You're not going to see a better ball than this. Over the 3rd arrow, out to about 6 at the break point. 10 back. Well, and Anthony cutting sharply through the nose. He's had 1 strike this game, but his spare game has been right on the mark. He needs to make this to maintain the lead. And he gets it. But now Nick with an advantage because he has a strike up. Oh, look at that one. Talk about a light shaker. Watch this one. The head pin will go to the left wall and do a lot of the damage. Comes back and gets the 2. And this time we'll see Anthony's reaction. Like stealing one. And this time Nick trying something different, and it doesn't quite turn the corner, and he's left with the 2-4-5. Knowing Nick, he'll probably go straight up the left side at this, and I applaud that method. Put the ball on the 2 and 5.
Why was that?
Whoops. He knew it was wide as soon as he let it go. And now he's dug himself quite a hole. 18 pins in arrears. He needs to double just to put any kind of pressure on Anthony. Yeah, seems like the strikes come a lot easier when you feel like you're just about out of it. But he's still got a chance. Nice and relaxed. But he needs this one right here in the 11th really to have any chance at all. Oh, and he shakes him up. and gets them all to go. So now with that, Nick sets himself up for a chance at a 180 if he maxes out on the fill ball. Watch this one. Again, out to about 6 or 7. And just hits the shaker area. All right, strike for 180. 179. So the situation is this. Anthony must mark. Any kind of a strike or spare, and then he'll need a couple more pins. How about that one right there? That's as good as it gets. He rips the rack. The best way to get a mark is to just take all 10 of them down. No doubt about that one. Well, now he's just got to stay behind the foul line and keep the ball on the lane. He gets 4.
I was going for straighter than the head pin. I don't want to get it out.
Yeah, he said he was just going with a straight ball down the middle, and that's a smart play. Kind of an unusual way to get 4, but 4 it is, and it's enough to win the match. And then he chops 2 more off the rack. He doesn't care. That's good enough to win, and it's going to be Anthony Smiga who faces Tristan Davis in match 2 when we return. An uncharacteristic sequence of mistakes by Nick put him in a hole that was just too big to dig out of at the end. He did double in the 10th to force Anthony to mark, but Anthony stepped up and threw a powerful strike to put an end to Nick's day. So it's Anthony Smiga, the survivor of our wild card round today, who's moving on to match 2, where he'll face steady Tristan Davis. How steady has Tristan been today? In qualifying, he fired games of 188 and 190. It remains to be seen if that'll be good enough to keep going past this next match. A little thin to begin. Anthony leaves the 2-7. This is the left-hander's baby split. A little easier for a right-hander because you're hooking toward it, which narrows the gap between the 2 pins a bit. And that's well done. So now we're going to get our first look of the season at Tristan Davis. Tristan has been working with Annalise O'Brien's coach, her dad, Doug O'Brien. And he has made some improvements. And there you go. Light hit, shakes him out. Tristan starts with a wall shot. Watch this. The ball will hit light in the 1-3 pocket, and the head pin will go to the left wall, come back and get the 4, 5, and 7. Dick Weber made a career out of that strike. And a few of those as well. Tristan solid in the hole with that one. Watch his footwork. 5-step approach. Drifts slightly to the left. That's 10 back right there. A little wide this time. Anthony leaves the washout. The 1-2, 4, 10. Put the ball on the left side of the head pin, throw the head pin over into the 10. The ball will get the 2 and the 4. Just like that. Good shot. Watch this one again. He throws that head pin right into the 10. That was the perfect angle. No doubt about it. Well, he's light again. Having a hard time getting that ball to face up and get all the way to the pocket. Here's the 2-10. Put the ball on the left side of the 2. Slide it over into the 10. Too much 2-pin this time. And an open for Anthony. And all of a sudden, Tristan jumps out to a 27-pin lead. He's done nothing but strike so far. This time the light hit doesn't quite get the 7 to go. But he's keeping the ball in play. You do that, you'll leave easy spares. Cross lane at the 7. Actually plays down the left side of the lane. A little unusual, but we're seeing more and more players do that, especially when they use plastic ball. If you're going to create carry down with a plastic ball, Might as well do it on the left side of the lane so you don't mess up your own line on the right side of the lane. Well, he's got that left lane wired, don't he? That's right in the pocket. Watch it again. See what kind of line he's playing over here. Third arrow, out to about 10 at the break point. So he is decidedly inside of where the other two players were playing. Anthony breaks down the 3-6-10 into just the 10 pin. But he's starting to spray it now. He's been light, 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 and now high. Covers the spare, though. He's also picking up his pace. He's not taking his time like he was earlier. And sometimes when you do that, you get out of your rhythm and you start throwing errant shots. Anthony would do well to just slow down. He makes the washout again, like it's nothing. Look at this guy. I believe this is a different ball than the one he made it with last time. Another good shot. All right, Tristan back up on lane 40. Crunch. Tristan throwing his phase 2. For those of you wondering. Four strikes in 5 frames. I'd say there's something out there that he's liking. And he's not going to like that, though. He just missed wide. These sport patterns, you miss wide, the ball's not going to recover like on a house shot. The 1-2-8. Put the ball on the Brooklyn side of the head pin. The ball will get the 1 and the 2. The 2 will get the 8. Or you can cover all 3 pins with the ball. Tristan covers it easily. And now, Anthony will try to figure out how to capture the magic that he had in the last match. Oh, well, that was a pretty good magic trick right there. Hocus pocus for sure. Anthony just pulled a rabbit out of his hat. Watch this. I think it's going to be the 2 pin. Third one from the left. It's going to go to the left wall, slip behind the 4, and take out the 9. What sorcery is this? It's almost hard to believe that a ball that's revving that much could leave a weak 10, but that's exactly what happened. And now Anthony will go cross lane at the single pin spare. And he covers it easily. But the lead remains 37 pins, and Tristan in command of this match. Laid that one down smooth, but it got into a roll a little too soon. And that'll happen sometimes when you lay it down right at the foul line. as it starts to roll up a little sooner. Anyway, he leaves the 6-10. And he'll go to his spare ball and go cross lane. No problem. We're through 7 frames, and between these two players, just one open frame thus far. And that was on a split. So both of these players showing their prowess shooting spares. Tristan would like to get all 10 here. And he does. Another one solid in the pocket. And he gives a little smile to Anthony with that one. Watch this. About 11 at the break point that time. He's playing much more inside the other players. There's the strike that Anthony's been searching for. He needs 4 more of those. He's not going to find them out there. He gets a round of applause for that one. Well, that's the 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. Here's one you don't see very often. You've almost got to split the 8-9 with the ball, because not having a 5-pin actually makes this a very difficult spare to make. Tristan going ahead to take a re-rack over on the right lane. And Anthony is noodling on this one. He's going to take his spare ball and go straight at it. Oh, and my goodness, he got it. That's not the way I would have shot it, but I probably would have missed it. Look at this. He actually does split the 8 and the 9. He just went at it a different way. Well, there's more than one way to skin a cat in this game. Ten pin stops Tristan, but he is in the driver's seat. The best Anthony can do is 189. And with that spare, Tristan has 184 if he doesn't throw another ball.
I think there's a winner already.
So he just needs a few pins here in the 10th, and he'll be moving on to match 3. And that's a winner there. So with that strike, Tristan dispatches Anthony.
He complains about how bad his carry is.
And Tristan can get to 224 with a couple more strikes. Anthony will go ahead and finish out, since the outcome of this match is already decided.
Not even mad.
Just going for the final numbers now. Oh, that one looked like it was going to be wide, but Tristan brought it back. And we see Brandon Caraviti stepping up to bring his equipment over and get ready for the next match. Anthony with a spare in the 10th, a possible 178 if he throws a strike here on his fill ball. He goes one-handed with his spare ball and gets 4. I believe that's 4 times he got 4 on the first ball that we've seen here today. That's a little unusual. And there's a third strike in the 10th for Tristan, and he finishes with a nice 224. It's Tristan Davis who will face Brandon Caraviti in match 3 when we return. Now, bring the spirit of Prodigy Bowlers Tour to your bowling center with Prodigy Bowlers Tour t-shirts and sportswear, including collared shirts with the Prodigy logo printed on the back to show that you support junior bowling. Check out the entire assortment of Prodigy t-shirts in the Brownswick store. Visit PRODIGYBowlersTour.com to see the selection. See the ash gray Celebrating Junior Bowling, Elevating Junior Bowlers t-shirt, or the Who Will Win the Coveted Trophy Pin t-shirt. Or maybe you'd want the one that says, I've come to get my bowl on, right on the front of the shirt, or simply, Bowl Me. There's a t-shirt that says, Bowling. You probably don't get it because it's mainly for smart people. And if you're a proud parent with a junior bowler, we've got a t-shirt just for you. And how about this t-shirt? You're bowling an 8th grader. Prepare to meet defeat. Available in grades 1 through 9, most in both adult and kid sizes. And finally, the shirt that reads, Bowl better, have more fun, take lessons. Then maybe you can keep up with me. The Brownswick store is powered by the people at Cafe Press, and all of these shirts are available right now. Just go to PRODIGYBowlersTour.com and click on the link to be taken right to the store. PayPal and credit cards accepted. That's PRODIGYBowlersTour.com. Get your bowl on and bring the spirit of Prodigy Bowlers Tour to your house. Order now. Go to PRODIGYBowlersTour.com. That's PRODIGYBowlersTour.com. Well. Looks like all that work Tristan put in on his game over the summer is already paying off. That was a clean 224 game he just dropped on Anthony. And just like always, Tristan's effortless style looks like he didn't even break a sweat. So that should put the remaining players on notice. Tristan Davis's next challenge in match 3 is Brandon Caraviti, who also put in a lot of practice over the summer. One of these two will go on to bowl for the championship today against our leader, Hunter Moffett. Which one will it be? We're about 20 minutes away from finding out. Brandon had the choice of starting lanes. He wants to finish first, so Tristan will start the match. And he picks up where he left off. Another strike on the left lane. Tristan's on fire. And now Brandon. He too, a lot of practice over the summer. Crosses over to start, but gets them all to go. It's not how, it's how many. You work on the fundamentals in practice, and then when you're actually bowling for score, trying to beat somebody, you try to turn off that side of the brain and just bowl. There, that's what he's looking for. Puts it in the swish zone. Watch the 5-pin, the one in the middle of the rack. He's going to hit light, but he's got enough power to send that 5-pin over into the 7. Sent it over standing up. It had no chance. Well, Tristan just keeps sweeping them off the pin deck. 2 frames. 4 strikes. He's still got that loose arm swing. And I'll tell you what, you get a player like that who's got a nice, straight, loose arm swing, and they can be very good under pressure. Another good one. That time he gets the 10 pin to go. Watch this. We'll see his footwork first. Watch the 6 pin, the second one from the right. Come out of the channel and chop out the 10. All right, Brandon, can you keep pace with Tristan? Yes, he can. We'll have to take a second look at that one. Watch the 2 pin, the third one from the left. It's going to go to the left wall. And come back and get the 9. How about that? A crowd pleaser. Well, that's a Brandon pleaser right there. A light shaker, and he's got a 4-bagger out of the gate. 4-step approach. Plenty of power. Gets the pins to dance. Well, Tristan, can you keep up with Brandon? He knew that was wide as soon as it left his hand. You could read his body language. He was leaning, begging it to get back, but it didn't quite make it. But an easy spare, the 2 pin. And he makes short work of it.
You can ask him why you keep going to like fries. You ask him,
So Tristan will just go back to work. Forget about that frame. First ball was just slightly off target. And he'll just try to start repeating the shots he was throwing earlier. Just like that. I haven't seen Tristan bowl like this in a while. Now, tell you what, I haven't seen Brandon bowl like this in a while either. That's a 5-bagger to start and a 21-pin lead. Tristan's only missed once and he's down 21. Shreds the rack. Brandon making a statement that he came to play. Well, that was left off his hand. And now he's got the 3, 6, 9, 10. A myriad of ways to miss this. You got to put the ball on the 3 and 6 high enough to carry out the 9, but careful not to chop the 3 off the 6, and you've got the pesky 10 to boot. And he whiffs all 4 pins. And he says, "You're welcome." He just handed the lead to Tristan. You just can't throw that much count away, especially when you're working on a strike, because any pins you leave standing count double against you. So now Tristan, with a 1-pin advantage, and he's working on a strike, can extend the lead to 11 with a double here. And that elicits whistles from the gallery. That was a pretty one. Solid in the pocket. One thing I'm noticing is Tristan's getting that ball a lot closer to his ankle than he was last season. And he shreds the rack now. And you know what? He's got so many strikes, that's worth a second look with our 3-up display. The 3rd, 5th, and 7th frames, do they look pretty similar? They should. How similar? Let's lay them on top of each other, each one a different color, and see if you can tell any difference. Not much. That's when you've got a repeating swing. Oh, a Brooklyn Stone 10 for Brandon. A little unlucky there. Not that it was his best shot, mind you, but that could have gone. Oh, he's going one-handed. And covers the 10-pin. Now, Brandon used his thumb that time, had the thumb in the ball. That ball has 3 holes in it. Earlier, he threw it without his thumb in the ball, two-handed. Next year, that won't be legal. You won't be able to have more holes in the ball than holes you use to grip it.
I'm not.
Oh, he gets a nosedive to go and gives it a big fist bump. Well, that strike was worthy of celebration. You're not going to see many luckier strikes than that. But now Tristan with a chance to put some distance between himself and Brandon. 21-pin lead, double working, up in the 8th, getting late. Tristan can put the hammer down here. But instead he goes high and leaves the 3-6-10. A little easier than the 3-6-9-10. You don't have to worry about the sleeper, but you still have to be careful about chopping it. Goes with his plastic ball, cross lane. Oh, and he hits too high on the 3-pin and sends the 6 around the 10. That's an open, and his big lead is now down to just 6 pins. And Brandon has a strike up. So this match is anything but over. He gets the light shaker to go again. And that'll help. Watch this. We've seen this wall shot action before, as the head pin will go to the left wall and come back and get the 4 and 7. Now Brandon can take the lead. And that strike will put him out in front by 4. Well, well, the plot thickens. Watch this. That goes out to about the 4th board. And he gets the light shaker. He can shut out Tristan with 2 more strikes. Pretty good shot. You heard him say, come on. 10 pins are part of the sport of bowling. You're going to have to know how to make them under pressure sometimes. He needs to make it right here and then get 8 on the fill ball to force Tristan to strike to beat him. Oh no. He whiffs it. So that hands the lead back to Tristan. Now Tristan's still going to have to mark. But that's different from having to strike on the first ball in the 10th. A couple of crucial opens by Brandon in the 6th and 10th frames. And now Tristan, he will take his time on this one. You don't want to be leaving any crazy splits or something like that. Washouts. Okay. Well, the same spare that Brandon missed, Tristan's going to have to make to win the match. Nerve-wracking. He must make this 10-pin, and then he'll need 2 pins on the fill to win. But he's got to have this. Oh, he pulled it. But the plastic ball saved him. It looked like it was a little left off his hand. That's why you throw plastic at spares. Now to stay behind the foul line, get 2. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Didn't have to be pretty, it just had to be 2, and he got it. And now it's going to be Tristan Davis in the championship match against Hunter Moffett. One of these two is going to sign the coveted trophy pin. Speaking of the coveted trophy pin, you know, last week on our Season 4 kickoff episode, we hadn't yet received this year's coveted trophy pin. But it arrived in the mail on Friday the 13th, and we had a little unboxing ceremony on a Prodigy live stream that evening. It's red, which left a bit of unfinished business with last week's winner. So we caught up with her today during League.
It's last week's winner, Annalise O'Brien, and we were missing something last week. It's the coveted red trophy pin. Your pin.
So pretty.
And you get to break it in.
Yes. Yes.
Going right for the neck. This is what champions do. They go for the jugular. So there it is, our first signature on the brand new coveted trophy pin. Once again, congratulations.
Well, in about 20 minutes, a second signature will be going on the coveted red trophy pin. Will it be Tristan Davis? He just survived a close match with Brandon Caraviti and just rolled his second straight game in the 220s. Or will it be 11-year-old Hunter Moffett, who finished second to Annalise last week on our season premiere? Both of these players are well acquainted with the winner's circle on Prodigy Bowlers Tour. But for Hunter, this is something special, as this is just the second week he's been bowling scratch with the big kids on a regular basis. And I know he wants to break through for his first win as a big. But he's got a tough opponent in Tristan, who appears to have figured out this pair of lanes. Let's just hope we get a match as close as the last one. A high hit to start. Hunter breaks down the split, leaves just the 3 pin, so Nothing too difficult here to start. An 11-year-old versus a 17-year-old. And Hunter takes care of the 3-pin. A mark to start. Now, I will tell you that Tristan will not go easy on Hunter just because he's 11 years old. That would be ridiculous. Tristan will play to win. And you throw enough balls like that, and it might just go your way, Tristan. Even Steven threw one, both of them with a mark in the first frame. Tristan's really been bowling well today, hasn't he? Out to about 11. 10 in the pit. That's wide. Okay, he could use less of that. Just an errant shot, just got away from him. It happens. Bowlers are not machines, even though some of them may appear to be sometimes. That's not the way he meant to make the 1-2 either, but it is a spare and he'll take it. So now Hunter will move over to the right lane. He made it to the championship match 1 week ago against Annalise O'Brien and finished second. He'd love to break through and win one. Crosses over, leaves the 6-10. Hunter's been to the winner's circle many times on Prodigy, but this year he's bowling with the bigs, and that means no handicap. And you can't be doing that. And you see his gesture, just telling himself, okay, settle down. I bet you his heart is pounding right now. And it's going to pound a little harder for the next minute or so as he faces the Greek church. A couple of ways to shoot this. You can take the count. You can also make it by going for the 3 on the right. But I believe if you're going to try to make it, the best way is to go for the 2 on the left. You risk lower count if you don't make it, but I think your odds of making it are better on that side. But you're never going to make it throwing it there. That is 6 out, and he is just throwing pins away left and right. And Tristan has opened up a 28-pin lead sitting on the bench. And that will just buoy his confidence further, as if he needed more confidence. Tristan bowling well today, and he's thrown a whole bunch of these. A little wider that time than he's been throwing it. Watch his reaction. He actually showed a little reaction this time. A little bit. That's about all you're ever going to get out of Tristan. He doesn't show much on the lanes. My goodness, another wild one. Score that as a wild pitch. And what have we here? The 1, 4, 5, 7, 8. I don't think we've ever seen this on Prodigy before. You shoot it like a strike. You put it where the ball would hit the 1-3 pocket to send the 1 into the 4-7, let the ball drive through and get the 5 and knock it into the 8. Well, he hit a little higher than I would have recommended, but he got away with it. and somehow they all went down. It ain't how, it's how many. And Hunter just not giving the ball any room to the right. Leaves the 3-10, baby split. Here's how you make it. Put the ball over on the right side of the 3-pin, let it deflect off into the 10. Best way to shoot it is from the left side of the lane, just like he's doing. Throws a straight ball at it, and that is perfectly executed. I'm so proud of how this young man has learned to throw this straight ball, and he knows the right angles to play at these spares. That is well done. Just not getting the ball out to the right like we're used to seeing him do. Just pulling everything. All right, cross lane at the 10-pin. Another straight ball just like the one he threw at the baby split, and he gets the spare. So, at least for a moment, Hunter can breathe easy. But he needs to find the line and get some strikes. Tristan up on the right lane. He struck every time on this lane this game. But not this time. Through the nose and leaves the 10. Well, he made a clutch 10-pin to win the match against Brandon just a little while ago. A little less pressure this time, nursing a 28-pin lead. But he covers it easily. Tristan, a good spare shooter. Hunter is a good spare shooter. Ordinarily, he's just a little off his game right now. But he threw the highest game in this event earlier in qualifying with a 239. Yikes. Tristan cutting right through the heart, leaves the 4-6-7. And there's not a lot you can do with this. Just take the count, get the 2 on the left, take your medicine, and go quietly. If you try to cut the 4 or the 6 so thin that it would just fall over into the other pin, you will run by it and miss it more often than you would make the split. So it's best to just go for the count. And he's left of the target again. I think Hunter is just maybe pressing a little bit, just trying to go a little too fast, not taking his time, got to keep that elbow in. And he misses left again. So he's got a case of the lefts today. Every mistake he's made today has been left, at least in this game. There, that's better. That's what he's looking for. But he's got his dauber down now. It's okay, Hunter, just hang in there. You don't know, this match is not over yet. I've seen strange things happen in this sport. Just keep grinding away. Tristan with a ripper. Shreds the rack. That maintains a 26-pin lead. He can extend it with another strike. This is as good a ball as he's thrown this game. Well, that looked like it was going to be another ripper, but the 10-pin refused to go. He's already made this a couple of times. And he gets it again. Tristan's pretty automatic on most single pin spares. Once in a blue moon he'll miss one, but he's usually pretty good with them. Well, he got away with that one. It was left of the mark. This time he gets a Brooklyn. But now here's the situation. That strike right there giving him a double. Watch this Brooklyn strike. That cut Tristan's lead down to 16. Hunter can cut it to 6 if he can get a strike here in the 9th. Oh, but again he misses left. Through the nose and leaves the 3-6-10. All right, take your time. Here's how you make the 3-6-10. He cannot afford another open now. We're too late in the match. Look out. Trouble. He's pretty easy to read, ain't he? When he's not happy. So Hunter, 3 strikes in the 10th would give him 164. Tristan just needs a mark, either in the 9th or the 10th. There's a mark. And that's going to make his job a whole lot easier in the 10th. Take another look at this strike. Smooth as can be. Those pins have no chance. He just needs 5 pins to put this away. See ya. All 10 back, and that is a winner right there. Hunter can keep score. Another look at that winning ball and the steps that led to it. Possible 205 for Tristan. He shreds the rack again. Couple of games in the 220s and now a 2-0. That's pretty good bowling on a sport pattern. That is a 205 game. And I know Tristan's happy. I'm pretty proud of Hunter too. Being a gentleman, shaking his hand like that, knowing he got beat. And once again, we get the facetious double thumbs up from Hunter when he leaves a pocket 10 pin in the 10th frame. Once the match is decided, he's not happy. He doesn't like getting beat. I get it. I don't either. But he gave it his all, and he bowled well to get into the top seed. But today, it's Tristan Davis Day on Prodigy Bowlers Tour. We'll get his signature on the coveted trophy pin next. Hey, Prodigy Land. It's me, Coach Randy. You know, last year we began a new push on Prodigy Bowlers Tour to invite you to become a patron of the show, and many of you responded favorably. Thank you. Some of you may still wonder why anyone would want to step up and pay to watch videos on YouTube that are there for anybody to see free of charge. Well, it's a simple concept built around the age-old idea of patronage. I don't get paid a salary to produce these Prodigy videos. I do it for the love of the sport of bowling. And under new policies recently announced by YouTube that will affect content creators who create content for children or whose channels are watched by children, there are some unanswered questions as of right now as to whether even Google AdSense dollars are going to continue flowing to channels like this whose videos feature kids. You know, I spend about 40 hours each week producing Prodigy Bowlers Tour. It is unquestionably a labor of love, but it is a full-time job with very little in the way of a financial reward. I could be spending that time working to build my other business, but I'm so fascinated by the idea of earning a living by being a YouTube content creator that I've sort of gone all in on Prodigy and related activities. A few years ago, a website called Patreon was built for content creators like me to give viewers like you an opportunity to support content creators by becoming a patron of their work and by committing a small amount of money each month to help fund the ongoing creation of the videos you're already enjoying. When we launched our Patreon campaign last year, I originally set it up with 3 tiers of commitment at $5, $10, and $20 amounts. That middle tier would get you exclusive access to content that was produced just for our Prodigy patrons. But honestly, I felt like some of the content produced was good enough that more people ought to be able to enjoy it. Besides, this year I plan to produce additional content, including more Prodigy shorts and short-form content, and I want all Prodigy heads to be able to see it. So I'm pleased to announce that I've eliminated that middle tier, and I'm cutting the price in half for the top tier. So starting right now, you can become a Prodigy patron for a commitment of just $5 a month. That'll give you early access to all our videos. And when I say early access, I mean usually about a day ahead of time when the rest of the world will get to see it. So if the show drops on a Friday, Prodigy patrons will usually get to see it about a day before that. And, effective immediately, I'm cutting in half the price of our premium tier of support from $20 a month to just $10 a month. That's right, for $10 a month, you'll not only get early access to all our content, but you'll also get your name listed in the closing credits on each week's full-length episodes of Prodigy Bowlers Tour. And I'm even giving our Prodigy patrons who commit to that higher tier a promotion. You know, in the world of motion pictures and television, if you're one of the people who put up the money to fund the project, you're not merely the producer, you're the executive producer. So, in keeping with that nomenclature, from now on, Prodigy patrons who commit to the $10 level will be listed as executive producers in the closing credits of our full-length episodes each week. So, there you go. Season 4 Prodigy Bowlers Tour. Now with a simplified tier system for our Prodigy patrons. The $5 level, which gets you early access to all our shows, and the $10 level, which gets you early access plus gets your name in the closing credits as an executive producer. By showing your commitment to Prodigy Bowlers Tour with such a tiny commitment as $5 or $10 a month, you help ensure that I can continue investing so much of my time into the creation of the show each week and into developing new forms of content. So thanks to all our Prodigy patrons, and I'd like to invite the rest of you to become a Prodigy patron. Here's how you do it. Sign up at www.patreon.com/Prodigy Bowlers Tour. That's www.patreon.com/Prodigy Bowlers Tour. Before we get to the final results of today's Prodigy Bowlers Tour contest, a quick word of congratulations to Prodigy regular Josh Greenberg. Although he didn't stay and bowl Prodigy with us today, he did stay and bowl a few games after league, and in the process, Josh bowled his first ever 200 game, hitting it right on the number. Way to go, little guy. It's the first of many. And now, a great big congratulations to Tristan Davis, winner of our second Prodigy Bowlers Tour event of the 2019-20 season. Dead Men Don't Bowl. You know, that's about as good as I've seen Tristan bowl in quite a while. And hats off to Hunter for getting himself in position to have a chance to win. You do that enough times, and you'll win your share. But on this day, it's Tristan Davis who found his way to the winner's circle.
Look, it's Tristan Davis signing the coveted trophy pin to an approving throng of fans. Uh-oh, what did he write?
Right under, and then put the date over it. Wait, what is it today?
Oh, he wrote right under Annalise's signature. And so I hear a little rumor that you might have the same coach as Annalise.
Perhaps.
Huh? Perhaps. Might have something to do with some improved play. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, it's the Prodigy Bowlers Tour Tip of the Week with Tristan Davis.
I've been working on keeping your hand behind the ball.
Show us.
See how Tristan's fingers are more or less directly behind the ball as opposed to on the side. Especially effective on spare shooting.
Let me demonstrate in a strike.
Now on a strike ball, it has the added benefit of giving you a more powerful roll and a more controllable hook. See how his fingers are behind the ball? I would like to get him a little farther behind the ball, but this is a work in progress, and he's much improved.
There you go.
Stay behind the ball. You'll get more powerful roll, more controllable hook, and you'll leave a whole lot fewer 10 pins.